It has been a while since we did an episode with three people. But first, I want to introduce my fearless co-host, one of the two, Joey.
Yes, sir.
Joey, how's it going, handsome? And on the phone, because
Epstein files are released, man. You got.
Oh yeah, they
take it easy.
We got to listen.
Be accusations thrown your way.
I hope not. On the phone, because he can't be here in person today. Nick, hello there, buddy.
Hey guys. Well, listen, I'm on the phone not because I can't be there in person, but because I don't look as good as anybody sitting in the room. So that's why I'm on the phone.
No,
He's got the best biceps in the game, though, man.
Yeah, you hands down. And
no Diddy.
No Diddy.
I gotta pause.
And it's been a while, but she's been on.
You got to say a lot of no at this point. There's a lot of no's that have to go around.
And she's been on twice before, but joining us in studio today are one of the two of our group, psychic medium Tori.
Hello.
Hello there. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, it's been forever.
Glad to have you on again. So, perfect episode because there has been a lot of conversation about Joey being a skeptic. Yeah, we've had debates about
No.
and there's been a lot of debate about that. And then Tori has very long list of ghost happenings to her. She has psychic abilities. She's sensitive.
I don't practice, just to put that out there. I'm not a practicing medium.
She doesn't practice like Joanne, but she has experiences. So I thought this would be the perfect episode for you guys to discuss.
To debate, debate.
I wouldn't say debate. I would say discuss because we're all friendly here.
We'll leave the debating for me and DeLuna when he gets back on.
You and Mike when it goes
I'm going to tear him up
when it comes to
stuff.
When it comes to the pyramid.
DeLuna better be ready, man. It's like simple construction.
And I have me and Nick are going to be the mediators here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because Nick and I have had experience, because Nick comes to places with me, unlike another person.
Yeah.
Someone always has something to do or an event to go to or,
Nick
Broadway's busy, man.
Nick, so are the cemeteries. Nick has come.
Yeah, apparently.
We just don't go to cemeteries, though. We've gone to other places.
Yeah, but me and Nick have been and had some crazy stuff happen to us. And
that was nuts.
Yes, we've had some stuff happen before we had a podcast, and we've had stuff happen during the podcast. So we're going to be the moderators here, and we're going to let you guys go at it. And I'm going to start with this. Okay, ready? Joey.
Let's hear it.
Okay, first.
Alrighty. Screw you.
I need a question.
First question, Joey. Okay.
He knows how I roll. I need a question.
Why would you say 5 years in podcasting, many adventures, many stories, many conversations, being in front of psychics that have literally did readings in this very studio, how are you still a skeptic?
I would say because...
Oh, you have 1 minute to answer.
I need repeatable. The scientific method relies on repeatable, verifiable facts. And I'm very much of, and this is why I think that it's more plausible when people are like, oh, you're crazy if you believe in aliens. I'm like, really? Well, there's actually repeatable, verifiable evidence that we can point to scientifically that suggests that aliens are potentially out there and there are multiple civilizations in the galaxy, right?
Did you see Obama admitted?
I did. Yeah.
Well, he said there are aliens.
It's coming soon, man.
There are aliens. Have I seen them?
They're just not.
I haven't seen the aliens, but I
that's pretty good.
I don't.
Nor are they in the area that doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Right.
I've seen aliens, and they're on ice right now.
Oh my god.
I've seen them.
I've seen them.
Okay.
Can't wait for that speech.
Oh yeah.
No comment.
But I think the paranormal is intriguing, and I think that there are coincidences that happen in the paranormal world. But
Nick, do we believe in coincidences?
No.
No.
but sometimes there are.
I just wanna,
I get what we say when we say we don't believe in coincidences. I don't like to believe in coincidences, but occasionally coincidences are a real thing, right? And not
Wait,
just
Joey,
coincidence. Go ahead, cut in.
I got a question for you. This will be good. Billy, let me roll with this.
go before I rip him apart, Nick.
Go ahead.
I just read this morning. You know who Steve Wozniak is, right? Wozniak.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, co-creator of Apple, right? Genius. You use Apple technology, right, Joey?
Yes.
Okay, you're a big buyer in, big believer, a big whatever the phrase is for people who buy into tech. You have the Oakley glasses, so Meta glasses, whatever. Wozniak used to work for Atari without official credit. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Okay. When Atari was designing Breakout, so if you know Breakout, it's like the Brick Breaker game that we've all played from whenever. And he designed Breakout to have 20 or 30 circuits on the board. And you're a big believer in scientific process. Now, this is a guy, he's very good, he's very brilliant. No one else could repeat what he did. It worked flawlessly, perfectly. It was Breakout with 20 circuits on the board. Nobody could fix what he did. They had to put a team together. They had 5 times as many breakers. So where's your scientific method on that one, bud?
So the reality is that some people are a little bit more gifted than others. Like I'm not. Aroldis Chapman has thrown 106 miles per hour in the major leagues just because
Not
it's
the Yankees.
Not on the Yankees. No, I mean, but he's thrown 106 miles per hour is my point, and it's not a repeatable thing for everyone. Like,
Someone was throwing 102 to Judge in February.
so that's like I feel like that's a little bit of a straw man argument because just because something isn't repeatable doesn't mean that it isn't scientific.
That's true. That's true.
Wait. So if it's not repeatable, that doesn't mean it's not scientific.
I get where you're going. I get where you're going. Hold on. Now,
Let the man breathe, Nick.
my problem with the paranormal is that it always happens just once, and it's always almost never repeatable. Even when mediums are tested throughout, like, you know, the scientific method, they've done like multiple studies with mediums, and there are certain things that they can't replicate. You know, like,
So you're saying because it's not repeatable, therefore the paranormal cannot be a
I'm
real
not
or
saying
true
I'm
thing.
not saying it doesn't exist, but I'm saying it has to be somewhat repeatable. Like, for instance, if you get a whole conversation with a ghost,
Yeah.
and then it doesn't happen again, and then when we try to like scientifically test it, we only get like one word or 2 words, that doesn't give us a definitive reality that we can have conversations with ghosts. That just prove that 1 or 2 words came through on a.
So you're
on a
talking
spirit
about
box.
like dimensions interfering with each other then, and like bleeding into one each other and then going out compared to directly actually talking.
I mean,
to something.
this is just like semantically talking about like what's repeatable and what's not.
So if we had the Ovulus, which is for those who don't know, a database, right? Piece of machinery that you can use. They can use their energy to manipulate that. If we kept getting at a specific location the same word, not like consistently back to back to back to back to back to back, but getting the same word and the same key text each time we went there, would you not then believe that we were communicating?
I wouldn't, because
Why?
Then we would have to scientifically determine why we're getting the same word.
I'm going to pause you there. Nick, explain what happened and what ChatGPT gave us as the probability when we went to Letchworth Village using the phone app at the cemetery.
Oh, my God.
Oh, the
Let Nick
spirit box?
let Nick explain this from his perspective.
All right. To explain that, though, I have to make one other point. So, Joey, you probably don't know this, and I didn't discuss this with Billy in advance. Way back when we were still using handheld digital cameras that had tapes in them. I don't know if it was a neighbor, Billy, or a friend of yours, but remember we went to somebody's house? I feel like we might have been 19, 20 years old, and we went to this person's house. It was a husband, wife, and a daughter. And I had a brand new digital camera, brand new. Like, you watch me take it out of the box.
Is this where
There was
it didn't work?
Ever again afterwards.
Yeah.
It never had a clear picture again, ever.
Yeah, brand new.
It was brand new, perfectly fine. We tested it before we went in. We shot a couple of little whatever's. And then we went and we shot in this house, whatever hallway we filmed down. Bro, I think I'd burn that camera afterwards because it would. I don't want to take things with me.
And I would be the skeptic to say, like, all right, are there like some kind of radiomagnetic interferences or something going on in that house that's not paranormal, that's scientific, that's messing with electronic equipment?
Fair enough. I mean, that's where Bermuda comes in. But
Right.
now let's talk about the second point. I just want to bring that story up because Billy had no idea I was going to talk about it. He remembers it, but and I don't think I've ever told you that story, Joey, so I wanted to bring that one up. Now, here's the other one, right? We went to Letchworth Village, which...
Love
Are we still allowed
Letchworth.
to curse?
Yeah,
Are we
go
still
ahead.
allowed to curse? On top?
Yeah,
Do it.
Fucking A. The first off, it was like negative 7,000 degrees out there that morning.
Yeah, mind you, this was August, and me and Nick went out there with like t-shirts, thinking that it's going to be, summer day, and it was freezing. It was like 50 degrees up there.
Also, sorry to everyone on camera if I'm annoying by fidgeting. I had surgery, so I can't quite sit on my ass. So if you see me rocking side to side, sorry.
She's not nervous. She had surgery.
And literally had surgery on my tailbone and can't sit.
It's the ghost.
And didn't want to
the ghost.
Didn't want to rain check, but that's fine. She's a trooper. But proceed, Nick.
So we do this you want to call it geo exploration, right? We go through this town, the buildings, not town. We're going through some of the buildings because the whole thing had been broken up. If you go back and you watch, you'll get the history on it. But we go through all this. First off, when you watch the video, to me, it felt like we were walking through Left 4 Dead. That's how creepy it was walking in. Like I was doing the sign of the cross every time we walked into a building.
Yeah, that place
Not
is
only
heavy.
did I think squatters were there, I was like, I'm not taking a spirit out with me, so let me just make sure that they know I'm coming in with some kind of protection. We go through that. We don't really pick up much. I mean, we get a few hits here and there, and like we saw a couple of cool things while we were there. We got a great story out of a local who's been around forever. Then we go up the road to the old cemetery. There's 800 people in there, Billy?
Yeah.
Something like that?
And it wasn't up the road. It was like kind of like you had to go this way, go that way.
Right. Cross the highway, down the road a little bit. Yeah, it wasn't too far, but you had to get in the car.
The cemetery? Okay.
The old one.
Yeah.
The old one. So we go there, and first thing I point out to Billy as I'm like, look at all the toys, right? Because we had read about it. I had read about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, they leave this little shrine up. Okay, great. We're looking all around, there's nobody around. So we're looking, like, just kind of lay out the land, try and figure out about how far it is. We see the headstone. It's got names on it. You could tell it's etched, but like, that's it. We look at the headstone and then we're walking around. When I say headstone, I mean the plaque. It's a giant slab. And so we see that, we see all the toys. We kind of look at the toys and we walk right past it. We look around. Then the Spirit Box app on the phone starts picking up names. Oh my God, what were the names?
Addison, Stella, and Owen.
Yes. And these are names that, with the exception of Owen.
That reel, you got to repost it. Actually did pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. We plan on doing another Letchworth run, Nick, if you wanna come. I'll get into my stories after yours.
You could actually meet us there. You'd probably be there quicker than us.
Yeah.
Probably. And I'll wear a jacket this time.
Yes.
So Owen, I went to high school. I worked with Estella, but other than that, like, those are names you don't really hear. Addison is not one I've ever heard that I can know. And I work in a field where I would hear a lot of names.
Yeah.
Not one.
I've definitely heard Addison before.
It's not common, though.
A common name.
Yeah.
The Mets had a reliever named Addison Reed, I think.
I feel like Addison.
That's 100% why I would not know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a character in a movie or something.
Also, before the names came out, we got witchcraft, right?
Witchcraft and
no.
Was it ink?
We got wizard, and it came out as tattoos because it couldn't pronounce it.
Tattoo.
But it was tattoos when you read it. But the thing pronounced it like tattoos, but it was tattoos, and we both had tattoos. So like when
maybe we're reaching a little bit. Maybe there is this pareidolia like effect that we also want to hear things and not just
you
see
associate
things.
what you see.
The writing is on the screen.
That it says tattoos.
It literally
Yes.
it says it.
Well, here's the thing. Like it's gonna take a word, or it's gonna take something that sounds close, and this is a computer, it's an algorithm, right? It's going to take something that it hears and translate it to something that it's very close, that it knows that it can translate it to.
Nick, did any of us mention tattoos or anything like that?
I think all you kept asking is there anyone here? Anyone need anything?
Yes.
Does anyone need help?
It said wizard and then said tattoos. Totally like two different things. And I'm like, me and Nick were like, maybe it's saying that it's seeing stuff that it's never seen during that time when it passed away.
Right, the technology.
You know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ever seen a kid in King Arthur's Court when the kid goes back with the baseball, he falls through the well,
takes the lighter out of his pocket,
and they're all like, "Whoa, what is this? What armor is this?"
I get what we're talking about. I feel like this isn't enough, though. It's not enough for people to be like definitively like, "That's it," you know, case closed.
So then, why don't you officially come with us?
What? Where to Lenchworth?
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Why don't we go to Letchworth?
There's a lot of reasons. There's homeless people.
Okay, you go in the
lurking
day
around corners. Like, I've seen horror movies. Actually, people kill people, not ghosts. I'm not afraid of the ghosts.
If you have,
but you usually film or Bobby film, so both of you guys bring the cameras. The cameraman never dies.
I'll bring my brother. My brother's a cop now, so I bring my brother. He'll bring his gun, you know, just in case we gotta.
Okay, point I'm making. Letchworth, though, is one of those notorious places where you get activity even during the day. All my experiences have ever been like, we're talking about lighttime normal hours. We're not talking about like 3-4:30 in the morning where it's still pitch black. We're talking about normal daylight hours walking, because it's
I've been to places
park.
like this, though, like not exactly like Letchworth, but places that were like quote unquote haunted. I've been to like Williamsburg, Virginia.
Bronze Lady.
Yeah, the Bronze Lady.
No, Joe's
the
never been
Bronze
there.
Lady.
I have. I
Yep.
went with you.
We tried to find the
tried to
Bronze
find
Lady.
it.
We
We're
couldn't
walking
find.
around a
We
cemetery.
couldn't find the
Yeah.
Bronze Lady. You shit your pants though.
I thought it was a snake that bit me. This guy's telling me to watch out for snakes. He primed me the
I
whole
don't
time.
know
He's like, "Watch out
why.
for snakes,
I
watch
don't
out
know
for
why I
snakes."
didn't film that. I should have.
Even if it were, they're garden
It
snakes,
wasn't that
man.
bad, though.
But Nick, real quick, after the names popped up, we checked. It was Nick's idea to check the monument on the way out. I was just gonna leave. He was like, "Let's check."
Debunk.
Yeah, no,
And
that was good.
Yeah.
It's a nice coincidence, but there are thousands of names on that.
We ran it through the very important
I know.
Chat GPT, and what was the percentage, Nick? It was
less than like 1,000.
It was zero.
With a TH.
The percentage of getting those three names without and finding them on the memorial. It was like something we asked it during the episode. 0.08% of getting those three names and finding them on that memorial. That's
And so, Joey, I'll grant you.
But here's what you're saying, though. There is a 0.00000, but you were the lucky ones to get that. Someone would say, the skeptic would say, like, you were the lucky ones to get that 0.00000 whatever 3% for that likelihood of those three names to come up and be on that wall.
okay. Now,
See, and Joey's not even going the obvious route.
It's not likely, but you know.
okay. I'm gonna give it now. Tori, let her tell one of her experiences that she could share to you and see if it raises an eyebrow.
I'm gonna run through quickly my experiences. Number one, you're gonna hate me for saying this, but you're psychic and you're just fucking shut down. So immediately as you walked into the room, you are so fucking powerful, dude. It's not even funny. You just deny it.
It's the
plain
shirt.
deny it.
He's
like-
got a slumberjack shirt. Oh no, lumberjack. Lumberjack. Sorry, it's a
sprayed
lumberjack.
Creed this morning.
Yeah,
It's
lumberjack.
a lot of things.
I don't know why he said slumberjack shirt. Go ahead.
Oh, you know why you said
yeah.
Anywho, so we'll start real quick, right? I was really little. Turns out that young females between the ages of like 11 and 13, if you have some mediumship, psychic, abilities, that's usually when it comes about. Why? I don't think there's a lot of research actually linking to that. Fine, fair, whatever. My grandfather died, right, in the house tragically and unexpectedly that I was visiting in. And I was talking to him, as you do when you grieve as a 12-year-old, just lost my grandfather, whatever. I'm sitting on his bed. Freaked the F out of me right next to me on the bed, a divot. Like someone just sat there. That's it. I got up and I fucking ran. Told my mom. She came back into the room with me. Guess what? No divot. No divot in the bed to be seen. No sheets messed up. You couldn't even see where I was sitting. So that's account number one. Little strange, right? Maybe you can say something about that to debunk it. Whatever. Little strange, right?
Joey's like, it was a waterbed.
It was not. It was actually like a
Let's determine
futon.
the density in the air of the room on that day. Was there a northerly wind to the right?
Fast forward, right? I was about maybe 14 at this time. I have anxiety. For anyone who suffers with anxiety, I feel ya. I had anxiety, and at 14, I like woke up in the middle of the night in a panic, right? I knew a fire alarm was going to go off somewhere. It was really important that I knew. I had to be concerned about it. Didn't know why. Now, right, I'm a little blip on this planet, right? There's thousands of fire alarms that could be going off at that instant. So why the hell was I waking up at like 2, 3 in the morning concerned about a fire alarm? Shit you not, the next morning I woke up to our fire alarm going off, which is why I woke up in the first place. There was a little fire in our kitchen that my dad actually set off while cooking. So, quinky dink? I don't think so. That's a little weird. That one's a little weird.
Weird, but
little weird.
possible.
But possible. All right, next one. Another dream, another vision. Years later, I'm from Middleborough, Massachusetts. There are no tornadoes ever in Middleborough, Massachusetts. One of my triggers, I was terrified of tornadoes. Why? Because they're freaking scary, man. I don't want to be like the Wizard of Oz, getting swooped up in like a tornado. No.
Past life experience with a tornado.
Yeah, right?
That stuff I could get behind.
Maybe.
You could potentially maybe scientifically try to prove that one day.
But I had another dream, right? I didn't wake up this time, but I had a dream about a tornado warning and where to seek shelter in, my town. Shit you not, I wake up to the next day. I'm in school. They're talking about tornado warnings and where to take shelter. And the specific locations that I dreamt about was the high school and the town hall. What places did they mention? The town hall and the high school. So again, just weird things. Next one might freak you out a little bit more. I'm in college. I come home to visit. I always had my phone on vibrate because ringers annoyed the crap out of me as an older teenager, right? Me and my dad, we're repairing our relationship. I'm from a separated family. Those who know, you know. And I said to myself, going to bed that night, you know what? I feel like dad's going to need to get a hold of me for some reason. So I turned my ringer on. That morning, I woke up because my dad called me to tell me that my uncle just died. And this is when his service was. So again, just coinky dink. Why did I feel like my dad was going to need to get a hold of me the next day when that wasn't the norm? And I turned my phone deliberately on ring so I could hear it when he called me.
Nick,
I stumped him.
Hold on. I'm gonna let. Wait. I have to let.
You have to be light with this.
I have to let the moderator, other moderator, jump in.
I've had experiences like that myself.
Wait.
That's
Nick's
because
gonna
you're
jump in.
psychic.
I'm going to jump in. I'm going to jump in because not because I read minds like legitimately, but I read people, and you guys know that. Joey and Billy, you guys know that. Tori, you met me like in person, but I'm really good at cold reads. And I know Joey well enough that Joey's going to argue the phone is because somehow subconsciously you remember a conversation, even though you were repairing the relationship with your dad. You knew your uncle was sick, so you left it on subconsciously.
It's funny, he actually wasn't sick, and I hadn't heard from this uncle in over a decade.
Glad that I put that out there because I'm sure that would have been Joey's.
He actually died from a massive heart attack, coinkadinkly, in the hospital parking lot because he broke his finger or whatever, which he was actually going for. So nothing related to anything we knew about or him.
Coinkaling.
There you go, Joey. There's that argument. The third story you told, not the waking up at 2 or 3 in the morning, the one right after that.
Joey's itching to shoot this.
The
Joey's
tornado one?
I already got it.
The tornado one.
Yeah, the tornado one.
Okay, so then that one but I'm going to go back to the 2, 3 in the morning one. It's interesting, and we've had this.
The fire alarm?
I think, numerous times. The fire alarm.
Yeah.
The 2, 3 in the morning specifically.
Yeah, witching
3
hour.
in the morning between
Yep.
3 and 3:30. It's usually 3:13 for whatever odd reason. I forget that there's numerology behind the 3:13 that I just can't remember off the top of my head. But we have all had this discussion, and I know we've all talked about it, whether it was about in context of sleep paralysis or nightmares, that we've woken up recurring nightmares. 3:13, 3 o'clock. If I have trouble sleeping, it is without a shadow of a doubt, 3 o'clock. I'm getting up most of
Absolutely.
the time.
Absolutely. I suffer from
But
insomnia, and I always wake up at like 3:15. So I agree there.
And Billy, if I remember right, there's a case way back when there was somebody you were working with, had a little kid, not the one up in New York. It was a different one.
This was believe it or not, Jamaica, Queens. I got called
three something every morning. The daughter would wake up.
The daughter of this household was waking up every night at 3 in the morning, 3:13, 3:30, saying that she saw a man in her room. And then the father of this family said that he actually witnessed his daughter waking up like in a trance, going to the refrigerator and eating raw meat.
Huh.
Sleep paralysis.
And
Not paralysis, but like
me and
sleepwalking.
one of my buddies went with me, and we actually heard footsteps walking down the hallway when no one else was there. It was me, the friend I brought to the investigation, and the owner of the house sitting in the living room. And all of a sudden you heard like shoes walking down the hallway, and the owner of the house was like falling asleep on the couch because this was like 2:30, 2:45 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'm like going like this to my friend, and he's trying to wake up the owner, and he's like, there's something walking down, and he's waking up in a panic. And then we had room motion sensors in the room set up, and it goes off right after we hear the footsteps. And I turned to, this was Andrew Tessie, and I go, come on, we got to go check the room. And he goes, nope. Not going in the room. He's like, there's footsteps coming down the hallway. There's motion sensors going off. No one
playing it safe.
No one in the room. I'm not going in there.
But to get evidence, you can't play safe.
This is true, but like somebody's going to collect that evidence.
But if you're skeptic and you need repetition, how are you going to get that evidence, Joey?
I'm not trying to collect the evidence. I'm just trying to say that somebody will.
So you just want to, you don't want to experience it. You want to just see it repetitively is what you're saying.
I definitely want to see it repetitively. And I will say that ghosts and the afterlife, that is, and ghosts lingering around or spirits lingering around is very different from psychic abilities,
yes.
right? Like we've actually proven through science that we can like enter dreams now with technology. They've put people side by side, and now they're actually figuring out ways to send advertisements in your dreams so that they can advertise. Like literally an advertising company has already jumped on board with a company that's that is figured out how to take what do you call it? That type of sleep that were
REM sleep?
Not REM sleep. There's the state where you're like you're awake but you're asleep at the same time. What is that called?
It's before REM, I think.
Oh my God, I know exactly.
I know what you're talking about,
Nick. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to.
Anyway, they've taken that ability that people have to be able to be somewhat conscious while they sleep, and they've used some device to be able to like transmit images into that person's mind.
Okay.
And now that technology is very, very early on, but it exists, and there's already advertising companies that have partnered with this company and give them hundreds of millions of dollars to like speed track the process of this technology.
That's nuts.
So that being said, I do think that maybe individuals, and there's been other like verifiable evidence that they put people in one room in a completely dark room, like the CIA has done these experiments, and now they're all declassified. Where they'll flash light on the left side of one person's face, and then in the other room there's nothing going on. And they ask the other person in the other room after like hours, what they're experiencing, and then occasionally they're like, "Oh, I'm getting a light on the left, like I feel like I'm seeing a light on the left side of my face," and then they'll switch it to the right, and then they'll repeat these over and over and over again. They're determining that somehow the two people and the two individuals in the room that are completely far away from one another, but side by side technically, but in different rooms, are communicating with one another telepathically, if you have it. But that's like scientifically proven at this point, right? Like, there is a frequency in which our evolved minds can communicate. Even like I give you a look, right?
Can I
give you a look. You know whether I'm going to be mad or angry on how I'm saying it, just on my facial
mannerisms,
expression.
right?
Mannerisms there's so many different forms of expression and communication, and there are even invisible forms of communication that we're not aware of.
Well, it's
but that doesn't
vibrating
make
energy that we feel from each other. Everything has like a vibrating energy that's alive. We're at different
But that doesn't make it
frequencies.
paranormal.
Well,
No,
but
that's natural. Absolutely.
What I was going to say is that little experiment, if you go back 15 years, you would say that's impossible. There's no such thing, right? So
Right, but now they can explain the scientific
but they
process
can
behind it.
explain it. So now what if we're still not able to explain fully that, hey, there are
Ghosts.
Right.
Because
Or
that's never,
look at-
it's never been,
look at-
there have been,
look at 20, 25 years ago.
maybe we don't have the technology yet. I'm not
Yeah,
saying it doesn't
UFOs,
exist.
right?
I will concede that maybe we don't have enough technology to determine whether or not that there is an afterlife, but eventually we'll get there, right?
I go back 20 years ago, 25 years ago.
Yeah.
I remember being in third grade telling people I saw a UFO and being labeled a craziness.
My whole problem with the afterlife is this, right? Like, you can be someone living on this planet, and in the blink of an eye, you can get into a car accident.
Yeah.
And you can survive that car accident. But let's say you had a brain injury. Now, most of who you are is gone. You don't remember the people around you. You saw the movie 50 First Dates that's real. Those are real phenomena.
Correct.
That people's memory.
Amnesia.
Yeah. They just completely have amnesia, and that part of their brain is gone. And they don't know who they are anymore. They can't remember faces. They can't remember parents. Certain letters of the alphabet don't exist for them. Certain colors don't exist for them anymore. They can't see those certain colors.
Right.
Now, they'll live this whole life not knowing who they were previously. But when they die, they're not dying with the memories or thinking about their past, right? So who are they when they go into the afterlife? Are they that original person that remembers all those things about the people that were in their life? Or are they the new person that has no memory or no recollection of who they were every day, where it resets and resets and resets?
I think
get what I'm
that's
saying?
Yes, but no. I think that's a little bit different. When you're talking about the afterlife and you're talking about spirits, right? You're talking about energy. And listen, I'm not knocking you. I'm a scientist. I have a bachelor's in biology, like hardcore scientist. I'm not religious anymore because science, clashes with my religion. I understand what you're saying. But if we're all energy, right? And energy can't be destroyed nor created. Where does that energy go then? Whether it's on this dimension,
That's been the big question.
right?
But
Or ghosts
the
are actually just
transcendence
on a
of
different
that
dimension. I don't think they're just kind of like these like floating like apparitions things. I think we're catching shit, but because our dimensions come in and out or they cross. I don't think it's just like a random, stay puffed over there in the corner. You know what I mean? Like
I feel like it's more reasonable to believe that we have multiple dimensions.
Yeah.
And me and Billy have talked about this.
Yeah.
That are crossing at different times.
Right.
So what we're getting a glimpse of is not actually ghosts, but people living their mundane lives in
So I
their
think
dimension.
I think that's a whole different separate thing. I think the afterlife is definitely a dimension.
I think either
itself,
one
though.
or the other has to exist.
I don't think why can't they exist simultaneously?
Because I don't think it's my problem with the afterlife is your thoughts and how. All right, the accident that I just described and explained, where your mind gets erased and you're no longer that person that you once were. My problem with the afterlife is that your memory, that proves right there that your memories are held in your brain. When you die, your brain ceases to function. It doesn't exist anymore. Those memories are gone. So how are those memories transitioning into an afterlife?
Right, I don't think
With
anyone
your
has an
family
answer
and
for that right now.
No one has an answer for that right now. But
I might.
That's great timing.
Nick, go ahead, Nick.
Okay, sorry. I've just been sitting back, chilling, listening. First off,
Me too.
Joey,
Don't
what's
worry,
March?
me too. Go ahead.
Because Nick's in the closet,
what-
everyone, right now. That's why he's creeping.
What month is March?
Suicide Awareness Month?
No, what numerically on the
3.
calendar?
Oh, 3.
3. Do you know 318 to 321 are considered the the March equinox, which is really highly open and susceptible to spiritual transitions, which is hysterical that when we talk about times, we were talking between 3 and 3:30. So just to put that number in your head, that's one. But secondly, as far as the I've had this because I was a theology minor, philosophy major when I went to school, so I studied a lot of this.
Nice.
Human energy. So when we're afraid to die, it's because we're afraid to lose the self that we have, but our spirit, our energy, and you can read articles that they've been coming out left and right lately. The energy goes somewhere. It's got to go somewhere. It doesn't just dissipate. It just doesn't dissipate because energy can't just be destroyed.
Right.
So we're afraid of that personal connection loss. And so you're talking about memory, Joey, and I get that entirely. There goes the memory, but the energy, it goes back into the collective.
Right. And I could, that's why I could get more behind reincarnation than, some heavenly body that we all go to one day and, where everybody's there to hang out.
Well, maybe this will change your mind a little bit, and not to cut you off, Nick.
No, it's okay.
Two different scenarios, right? And I think everyone can kind of agree to when like tragic events happen, right? There tends to be some kind of like scar or like, wound on whatever, whether it was like property or house that like tragic event happened in, right? There's some kind of energy there, whether it's, mentally, you're just conscious of like, oh, this happened here and that's why I feel weird or whatever, right? Point being, my brother died very young, suicide, very out of the blue, right? My dad recently passed a year ago, very tragic, completely different situation though. My dad is not here, earthbound, spiritually, at all. My brother, though, has lingered for the past 12, 13 years, though, that he's been deceased. Because, according to him, again, how much you want to believe, but how horrible he was in life, he wants to give now to his family because he's in the mental state and capacity that he can actually help and recognize and do his part. My dad, though, not here at all. Didn't exist once he died. He went somewhere completely different. How do you say, though, that there's not a paranormal, right, experiences or ghosts out there when you have a loved one who stayed present, but the other one didn't and went somewhere else? It kind of shows that energy has to go somewhere.
Your wife's mother's
Jeff.
Yeah. Her name is Jeff. He said to us at the birthday party that when you pass away, you are able to choose. Your free will doesn't just stop here on Earth.
Right.
It transitions to the spirit realm and you're able. So I'm just saying it kind of correlates with what she just said between her father and her brother.
I'm not here to disprove that, but my skeptical mind would say that neither of them are here anymore, spiritually or physically. And the reason why
Joey's
is
saying you're projecting.
How do we test that? We can have these experiences and we can say that we feel that way, but feeling some way and actually knowing something for a fact are two different things. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Joey, can I
go ahead, Nick?
Sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Let me put this in a different perspective for Joey.
Yeah.
I knew he was going to say it wasn't repeatable in some way, shape, or form, which is, Joey, forgive me, that's kind of what you just said, right? You can't repeat or reproduce the brother versus the father. Fine.
Right.
I'm going to put it in a different category. Video games. You played them, right?
Yeah.
I think we're all gamers here, so yeah.
Okay. So in context, when you play a game, RPGs are always my thing. So there's quests, there's sub-quests. Yeah, you can play the game again and again and again. But when you play an RPG, it's not like a repeatable loop per se, typically. So when you complete a quest, it's over and done with, right?
Right.
It's finished business.
Yeah.
Then you don't go back to that NPC again. That NPC, while still a ghost in the program.
Unless you restart the game.
Right. Okay. Well, we could talk about reincarnation being a different version of what we're talking about right now. But you in your linear lifespan, right, from birth to death, once you complete that quest, you're not restarting your game unless you're restarting your life. So once that person has completed that quest, per se, right, they can move on. They can advance. Her father,
I get the analogies. I would say that this is where our reality is very different, unless we're saying that we live in a sim, right? Our reality is very different from simulation.
They are saying that now.
Brains in
get that they're
jars.
saying that,
Brains
but
in jars.
we don't know. There's a probability that scientists give that like we're either base reality 1 or like the real first base reality 1, or we're a sim and we're like eons realities out. If you know,
It would
you know,
require
I'm not
so
gonna
much power to
explain
make
that.
But again,
the sim.
it doesn't matter whether we're a simulation or not, because to us it's real. So that kind of doesn't matter. It does not dictate what's real and what we experience here in the simulation, even if it is you get what I'm saying? Like just because it's a simulation and we're experiencing it doesn't discredit the experiences. You know what I mean?
I think we have to like rationally take our experiences. I'll give you for instance where I've had an experience like that.
A paranormal experience?
We all want to think not paranormal.
Oh, okay.
My grandfather passed, and I'm saying my piece to him.
Yeah.
I'm in front of his casket, and
This is where the thing falls over.
So I'm privately talking to him, and I'm just letting him know like everything's gonna be okay.
Flowers.
I got everybody, type of thing, and I felt like in that moment when the flowers fell over, as I said that, like, what are the odds, right?
Yeah.
He's talking to me. That was his way of letting me know I heard you.
Right.
And for years I was, but then my skeptic mind goes, maybe somebody didn't set that stand right, and it was eventually going to fall anyway. But either way, it made me feel good.
Right. It made you feel better. It brought comfort.
I'm not discrediting the fact that I felt that way. I never want to say that I know for certain that I didn't have a moment there.
Yeah.
Where we had a communication in the beyond.
Yeah.
But what I will say is that there is the real possibility that it was something else entirely. But it doesn't change the fact that it made me feel good in the moment, and it also. But I'm not using it as confirmation bias to dictate what I believe. Right?
I think there are definitely. I totally agree with you. I think there are definitely parts of the paranormal, right? Pareidolia, whatever that. Yeah, where we do project and we definitely do seek comfort out of, certain situations because you're mourning, because you're hurting, right? It brings comfort. And I think that's a huge thing. But I do think there's some pieces, maybe not as frequent as we, project into the world of, things that we do experience that are real or unexplainable. One of the things off camera that I'll show you on my phone somewhere is I've never caught any, swear on my dead father, my dead brother, I've never caught anything paranormal on camera. Was not trying. I sent you this video when it happened last year, and then before February, it was in January last year. I'm trying on a dress, I'm videotaping on like Snapchat to like one of my friends. I think I'm going to use this for my cosplay, blah, 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 blah. An orb, a big floating blue ass orb. You can't mistake it for anything else. You see come out of my hallway and shoot across my face, and you can see through it. And then it just fades away. And you see me in the video just stop and blink because I didn't see anything here in my dimension, but I saw it on camera. And then I stopped it and replayed it, and I was like, holy shit. The line on it was, did you see that effing ghost orb? Because it was insane.
So closing thoughts, because we're running low on time. I'll start with Joey. Again, I've asked you this question before. Mm-hmm. You have 30 seconds to answer this question.
Why are we putting time restraints?
It's professional. Like the CNN sign is covered over there. What would it take for you to become an absolute believer?
I gotta see.
Not with Bigfoot, cryptids, UFOs, aliens, whole different thing. With ghosts.
I gotta see Patrick Swayze, full ghost form apparition.
Doing the pottery?
I gotta see him clear. You know what I mean?
So you need to see a full person, not just like a shadow person.
I got to see that Demi Moore, Patrick Swayze moment. He gives her the ghostly hug, and he looks to the back, and he's like, "It takes you with us." You feel, and then it just goes off into the distance.
Okay, and I guess the question,
Unchained melody playing in the background.
I'll go to Nick. Nick, where do you stand on this? 30 seconds to answer.
You know what? I have control issues, and so saying that I believe entirely gives up control, which is a fear thing. But I have to be open to the concept that it is real because I've seen too much to discredit everything.
Okay.
I love that you know yourself that well, Nick. Proud of you.
Not to discredit, but you've seen too much that you can't explain, which means like you then have to go do the due diligence to go try to debunk it before you can say.
Well, we always try to debunk it
Yeah.
when we go places. We don't.
Right.
We don't.
And I would say
That's our
I would
first-
say like 98% of the stuff on this podcast we've debunked.
Yeah. Well,
Which is fine.
some
Hang
of
on.
it. Now, Tori, my question to you.
All right, I have another example first, though.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, then I have to give an additional 30 seconds.
That's fine, but I just going out on a bang since Letchworth was like a big part of this conversation. I love Letchworth. I love going there, right? You know me pretty well as a person. We've been pretty good friends over the past year. Would you say I'm an angry person?
No.
Do I typically get angry easy or like frustrated really like easily over nothing?
No.
Okay. One of the times I was at Letchworth, right? Every single time I get this massive migraine from the temple of my head and down my jaw. One of the only things I can see that was probably like lobotomies at the time. That was probably done there, or whatever else experimenting that they did there.
Was there,
Right.
Nick?
Yeah, that's
One of them.
electroshock and lobotomizing. Were
They
were the
also
methods used.
tested a vaccine on a
Yes.
6-year-old girl.
That was well,
Polio.
we spoke about
Yeah.
this. This was the
Yeah.
polio vaccine.
Yes.
Right.
But so that pain, normal. That's usually a very common experience every single time I go there that I get. I just know that's going to be one of the constant things I experience. I was with an ex at a time who had been urban exploring to that place many, many times. I went over to the hospital, which if anyone knows, the hospital has a lot of bad juju and energy. It is not a happy place over there. There's been a lot of things that has happened. A lot of brains kept in jars, organs kept in jars down the basement. Just a really sketchy place where a lot of things happened.
Sounds like Epstein's Island.
Yeah, exactly. So he told me at one point whether my mannerisms were changing or whatever, right? That like, hey, let's go. It's time to go. And I whipped around and started, I was beyond angry. I was seeing red. I said, I'm not ready to go. I don't want to leave. Why do we have to leave right now? And he was like, come on, we've been here for a bit. Let's go home, blah, blah, blah. I started fucking screaming at him. And he's trying to get me to the car. It felt like a weird warped reality where I was like walking through molasses and like people were tugging me from behind as he's like pulling me forward to like leave the property. I was so fucking pissed, cursing at him, throwing fists at him. I did not want to leave. As soon as we got off that property though, it was completely back to normal. Like nothing happened. That's a weird thing. I can't say what the heck it was.
Right.
You know, it wasn't my own emotions. I wasn't angry. Why would I be angry about leaving? We were there for hours. We walked around. Cool. Why all of a sudden did I flip on a switch and be like, I don't want to leave?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's those things.
I think we'll end on this note that when it comes to the paranormal as a whole, it's up for someone's discretion whether or not they believe in it. And I still stand firm to this that everybody, whether you're a believer or not, has a weird story.
Yeah.
Whether you want to debunk the weird story or come to conclusions on why or
deny.
or why it happened or why it didn't happen is up for debate. Now, before we go back to Letchworth Village, I think we all need to have some caffeine. And the place that the SWAB podcast likes to have caffeine is How You Brewing
How You
Cafe
Brewing? How you doing,
in
baby?
Tuckahoe, New York.
We went there this morning.
With over 15 flavors of iced coffee and a whole bunch of sweet treats in the glass that you can have in store or take it on the run, macchiatos, espressos, and all you can possibly think of when it comes to caffeine. How You Brewing Cafe in Tuckahoe, New York is the place to go for your caffeine. So if you haven't heard about them, now you know. Right, Joe?
I recommend the rainbow cookie one.
The rainbow cookie iced coffee.
Pretty
is
smashing.
Definitely.
Okay,
really
so you were in Tuckahoe today and you didn't text me. I'm gonna kick you later. Let's
I don't know how far north you are or how far, like, it's really.
Bro, Tuckahoe would be a faster ride for me than the Bronx.
Well, now
okay?
now I know. So, and now I know when we go
I'll
to.
invite you to Ridge Hill, Nick.
Yeah,
all right.
now I know.
Thank you. See, I was out at the gym. I would have came right there, right afterwards.
Well, now I know the mileage of Nick's Nick's notes, but we need to have you come in studio. This phone thing is nice, It's
Yeah.
just not as nice as having you here with us.
Yeah.
And of course, I would like to say thank you to Spotify for Creators. If you don't know about Spotify for Creators, it is the free app that allows you to get your podcast idea
Out there.
if you have a
Out there.
phone, tablet, computer. Head over to Spotify for Creators to get started. Nick, thank you for joining us on the phone. We miss your face, but thank you for being here. Tori, thank you for coming in.
Always.
Coming off of your surgery, you know, that's a trooper move right there.
Thanks for accommodating my butt.
Joey, always a pleasure to have you and your plaid shirt on over there. You handsome guy. I'm feeling
This is my like construction.
I'm feeling ambitious
for the week,
looking
you know?
at your knee. Very
Got a
ambitious.
Carhartt Yankee on. With,
Yo.
you know what I mean?
You look like a
I used
Massachusetter.
to do construction. So
You
it's,
look like-
it's okay.
Yo.
I'm part of the crew.
You were a welder, construction person. Like, you do it all, man. You're jack of all trades. You should have been a Jack instead of a Joey.
Someone would say a slumberjack of all trades.
You're a jack of all trades. But thank you, everybody, for joining us. And until next time, this is another episode of the Say What Again, Billy podcast.
See ya.